The story of three disasters in the Republic of the Congo, with aircraft of the Antonov Design Bureau. And the reason for all is one: negligence. The AN-3B aircraft with the crew of the Moscow Airlines airline was flying under a lease agreement with the local airline African Air in the Republic of Zaire, on the route Kinshasa-Kahembo, at 11:40 on January 8, 1996. A cargo flight was being carried out to transport food and consumer goods from Mandela Airport, Kinshasa. The runway was dry with an asphalt surface, 1,700 meters long. Takeoff was performed at 11:40 local time, with flaps released to 25. At 28 seconds after the start of takeoff at a speed of 130 km/h, the elevator was deflected to 20 and remained in this position until the end of the flight. At 32 seconds from the start of the takeoff run, the pitch angle increased by 3.5 degrees. Already at 39 seconds, the speed reached 194 km/h, which corresponds to the climb speed with the declared takeoff weight of the aircraft of 6 tons. At 42 seconds, the speed reached the liftoff speed, 204 km/h, but the liftoff never happened. The aircraft continued to move. At 47 seconds, the crew attempted to stop the takeoff by retracting the engine control levers, and 3 seconds later by removing the propellers from the stop. The crew's actions upon stopping the takeoff did not prevent the aircraft from rolling out of the runway and the airfield. There are no braking marks on the runway. The airfield does not have a fence on the side of the exit end of the runway. Immediately behind the strip, perpendicular to the axis, there is a drainage ditch, then a highway, and behind it the city market begins. During the rollout, the plane hit the parapet of a concrete drainage channel, entered the market area, flew along the shopping arcade for about 240 meters and caught fire from the collision with the market buildings. The flight mechanic of the plane died. The others on board were injured. As a result of the accident, according to the Red Cross, 297 people died on the ground. The plane was loaded by African Air in the absence of the crew and without taking into account the features of the plane. According to calculations, the takeoff weight was 34 tons, that is, it exceeded the maximum permissible norm of 27 tons. The cause of the accident was the performance of the flight with a takeoff weight exceeding the maximum permissible, as well as the negligence of ground services when loading the plane and the lack of control by the crew. The particularly severe consequences of the aviation accident are due to the presence of a market with a large number of people on the territory belonging to the airfield. This incident in the city of Kinshasa with Antonov planned aircraft did not end. 11 years later, on October 4, 2007, the A-26 aircraft, carrying out a mixed cargo and passenger flight on the Kinshasa-Chekapakanada route, took off from the Gili International Airport of the city of Kinshasa. The aircraft belonged to the airline Africa One and was leased by the company Malaftier. During takeoff, the propeller of the right engine suddenly separated from the aircraft, which led to a loss of lift and altitude. The pilots tried to maneuver, but the aircraft, due to a violation of the center of gravity, banked and hit trees. From the impact, the airliner lost its right wing, went into a dive, and fell on a residential area of Kinshasa, destroying several houses. At the crash site, one surviving crew member, a flight mechanic, was found. The cause of the disaster were design flaws caused by wear of engine parts and the skin of the aircraft, which had been operated for a long time in tropical climates. The plane was overloaded. According to some sources, there were 27 people on board instead of the stated 16. According to other sources, there were no more than 20 people on board. The amount of cargo on board is unknown. After the crash, the country's authorities began talking about banning flights of Antonov Design Bureau aircraft. However, other than talk, no action was taken regarding the bans. 52 people died in the crash, among them were 3 Russian pilots. But 4 years later, on March 21, 2011, an An-12 crashed in the Republic of the Congo. The plane belonged to Air King. The flight was en route Brazzaville-Pointe Noire. During the landing approach, the third and fourth engines stopped spinning, without the automatic feathering system being activated. Due to the wind speed of the propellers and a strong turning moment, The plane flipped over its wing and crashed in the residential area of the city of Paint-Noir in the south of the Republic. The crew of 4 people and 5 passengers died. 14 people died on the ground. Causes of the crash: technical malfunction of the aircraft. Known in 2006, a year before the crash, this aircraft was declared unfit for further operation. The cause of all these air crashes: this is the negligence of airlines in order to save money. But only such savings lead to deaths. Responsibility for what happened lies with the management of the airlines. What do you think about this story? Write your opinion in the comments.